Welcome back to Novas and Friends. First thing we're going to be doing is temporarily putting in the 4-link where we want it. Alright, well, we're here underneath the car, mocking up the subframe to 4-link bars. But there were a few things we encountered that we had to remove, such as grinding away at these plug holes, because it wouldn't quite clear the Heights 4-link that we have for the car. We had to do that on both sides of the car to help mock it up in place so we could figure out the center link for transmission crossmember. I also had to remove this bracket that was in the way. To line up this transmission in the tunnel, we used this dummy yoke. Okay, now it's time for us to mount our transmission crossmember. But we have to modify it because these holes don't quite line up where they're supposed to be. So we're gonna have to cut this bracket off and then weld it on the right position. Now we're going to finish cutting it off with the die grinder. Now with the bracket cut off, we're going to clean up the bar and then weld it back on in the proper position. Now if this all cleaned up, it's time for us to bolt this crossmember back on so we can line this up. Hey guys, we got the crossmember all mounted in. As you can see here, the best fit it can be for the car. And now we're going to work on modifying the center section that mounts it in place. Alright, it's all cleaned up now. Now it's time to weld it back onto the crossmember. Now that we have it tacked up, we can take it off and finish welding it up on the bench. Alright guys, we got it all welded up. Isn't perfect, but looks pretty good. Now we're going to bolt it back in and measure so we can chop off some of this length here. We put a light coat of paint on the cross member to help keep the splatter from welding off. Now we are going to weld on this end plate here to help give it some more structure. Now time to put some spray paint on it to protect it from rusting before we put some good paint on it. Alright guys, we got it all bolted back up in here, holding the transmission up. So, that's where we're going to leave it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.